Rajani Jai. When Ketan Bhai approached me to talk for today, first my first thought was that I'm going to be too emotional, so maybe I'll skip. But then the second thought was that it's a great occasion, and if I can say a few words about Dinkaruncle, that'll be a great fortune of mine. And then I thought of writing it down so I don't get too emotional. So that was my way of preparing the speech. I want to start with my relationship with Dinkaruncle a little bit. For some of us, Dinkaruncle is dad. For some of us, Dinkaruncle is Dinkar Dada. For some of us, he's Dinu Bhai. For some, he's Dinesh Bhai. Some call him Guru, and some call him boss. But for me, he's Dinkaruncle, which simply means he is my dad's brother, i.e. uncle. So for me, he's a father figure, and he's like a spiritual father. And I've known him since childhood. But once I came to US, that's when I came in close association with Dinkaruncle. And that was in 2001. When he would visit India, he would visit our home, and I would be studying with 2 pigtails and thick glasses, and he would be very happy to see me studying. And I was always focused on studies, and he would give other satsang kids an example, okay, you should study like Falguniben. And naturally, when you're a teenager, someone is praising you in front of others, and that just creates a natural liking. So I just naturally liked Dinkaruncle since then. When I came to US, this is the first thing I want to thank Dinkaruncle for, that he put me up with Pankaj Uncle and Harshanti, and that was the best thing that happened to me. I thank him for that, for giving such great Bhagwadis, who are now my parents-in-law also. Someone once commented to me that you are very fortunate. You've had a lot of father figures in your life. And I said, yes, starting with my dad, then I stayed with my grandfather, then I grew up with my uncle, who's Ashwin Kaka, who is more than a father to me, and he took care of me as my guardian. Then I had Tardev brothers, who were also father figures, and now I had Pankaj Uncle. And Pankaj Uncle and Harsha Auntie, where is Harsha Auntie? She's not here. Pankaj Uncle and Harsha Auntie gave me a lot of strength. When I had just come away from my family, miles away, I'm sure Varun and Dhruvesh and them can understand. They gave a lot of courage and gave me another home away from home. They also helped me out with understanding who Dinkaruncle was, and understanding the true glory of satsang, and also helped me excel in school. I stayed for a few months with them, and then I moved out and stayed near the school, which was in the city. And then I attended regular Friday Sabhas and also took part in satsang activities, just like Varun and Dhruvesh and the kids do when they come from India. And it becomes a safety net for you. It becomes a place where you can come and you can find home. So that was satsang. And I would get rides from all the bhaios back and forth to the city. And I was very happy with that. When we left, growing up in Tardev, we were grown up with that belief naturally in us that wherever you go, you find a Gunadit saint. And you don't question, you just unite with them. And any major decisions of your life, you call them. So I was doing the same. I was calling Dinkaruncle before any major interview. If I didn't know what to do with my bank account, I would call him. How much to invest, in which fund to invest in my 401k, I would call him. For every little thing, if I didn't understand, I would call him. And I was always excelling in my career because of his prayers. I had the best job. I had everything that I needed. At one point, I was in the lowest point in my personal life, and that's when Ketan Bhai always says, don't forget the roots. Don't forget when you needed him the most and he was there. So I wanted to mention that Dinkaruncle was there. And Jyoti Ben came in around 2006, and Jyoti Ben helped me make the best decision of my life. And one time I was on the phone with Dinkaruncle. Our lease was ending at the condo, and I was living with Vishna at the time. And so we were, I was just happened to be on the phone, and Dinkaruncle said, well, beta, the doors of Waukegan Mandir are open for you. So Dinkaruncle, there are many devotees who would love for you to say that, and they will leave everything. But I feel like some of us who have lived there are the fortunate ones whom you actually said that. And I feel like without his permission, it's not possible to be able to even enter the Waukegan Mandir. So I'm very fortunate that I got a chance to live there for 7 years, and I have learned a lot from both Kusumba and Dinkaruncle. Starting with how to do Dun, or what is selfless seva, or how can you focus on God and take care of devotees? How can you do selfless devotion? Of course, we know Keba for devotion. Art of discipline. I mean, you look at Dinkaruncle's life, and it's nothing but sincerity and discipline. For his birthday celebration, Emily Ben had made a PowerPoint presentation where she had little quotes from all the devotees of what Dinkaruncle has done for them. And she had also asked me. And I read all the quotes, and then I thought, I just want to say all of the above, because he has really done everything. Everything that I was reading, starting from buying a car to negotiating your salary to which job should I apply for, everything. So for me, it was really all of the above. From Kusumba, of course, I remember Kusumba a lot when I'm cooking in the kitchen even now. And Angie will agree with this, that sometimes if we wouldn't find something in the kitchen, Kusumba will lovingly say, "Tame garma raho cho ki kya raho cho?" You can't find this thing. And so now, like sometimes if Amit cannot find something, I'll say the same thing, but I'll say it keeping Kusumba in mind, and I'll just chuckle that, oh, Kusumba would say this. For little things like, how do I samaru my kothmir and put it in the fridge? We've learned a lot of things from Kusumba as well. So in terms of how I have transformed living with Dinkaruncle, I have 4 things that I want to say that it has become like a second nature, and I'm sure it's true for a lot of you. The first thing is positive thinking. And to such an extent that there, naturally in the world these days, everybody says keep a positive attitude. It's nothing new. But Dinkaruncle makes you do it. He makes you practice it. Anybody's birthday, everybody goes around and says Gungan, like Ketan Bhai said, So just by making you do it every Friday Sabha, it just becomes a second nature. And I think we all do it, just without even knowing that we do it. The second thing is, I grew up around Kakaji and Tardev Bhaios and everyone, but I never really, of course I had the love for Kakaji, but what Kakaji really truly is, and that conviction that I am Kakaji's chosen child, and that I am fortunate, really came after coming in association with Dinkaruncle. He was the one who explained us the true glory of Kakaji. And so as a result of all of this, at this point now, I feel like I'm content. Just like Swamiji says, you have the nischinta. You don't worry about tomorrow. And lastly, I was thinking a lot about what do I say for Dinkaruncle in the last 2 days. And so the first day I sat down and I wrote something, and it took me an hour to really put my thoughts together because I just didn't want to come and wing it. The second day I decided I'm going to type everything up. But as I was contemplating and thinking, I felt like there is one word in my mind, as I have seen Dinkaruncle really describes Dinkaruncle, is that he is a sadhak. Now, what does the word really mean, sadhak? So I looked up in the dictionary, and in the Webster Merriam Dictionary, it says that in Hindu religion, a sadhana, so then I looked up sadhana because sadhak, the one who does sadhana is a sadhak. And so it said that in Hindu religion, training or discipline through which an individual attains samadhi is sadhana. And Dinkaruncle really, really considers himself a sadhak before anything. And this is my analysis. And of course, his sadhana is to remain in God all the time. And if you look at what he's wearing, the blue and cream, it eliminates all the other options again. So that's, for him, it's focusing on God more, because then you're not spending time in other stuff or buying other clothes, etc. And of course, his guru has given him, so that's even more beyond that. But doing dun, constantly doing dun, is another way of focusing in God. Doing murti darshan is focusing on God through eyes, obviously, and imbibing those murtis within you. So all of the five senses, he's constantly focused on God. Even at work, he says, Kakaji runs Abbott. So even there, he's focused on God, he's doing God's work. So here, and Ketan Bhai talks about plain sight, and I feel like because of what we see in plain sight, he has taken that to a totally different level. It's not the discipline that you and I strive to live for. It's a discipline it's an epitome of discipline. So then I thought of the word parakashta, because parakashta really, I don't know what's the exact English word for it, but I thought it was an epitome or a height or an extreme. So now you take all of these things that I just said and take it to an extreme. And that's what Dinkaruncle does. And that is Pratham 27, right there. So, and I feel like he is a learner, he's a student. Even the other day when Ketan Bhai and all the devotees talked about his glory, the next thing he said was, I wish I can live by these qualities. For PM Modi, he liked the fact that Modi saw positive in Trump, and that Modi was a learner. So I feel like he is constantly introspecting where he can be better, what he can do as a student and as a learner. And I think that makes him different, and that's why it's not about miracles. What he does in a day-to-day life, that's miracle in itself, because that's to a totally different level that none of us, even the plain, simple qualities that we call respect, even his respect that he gives to others is totally different level. So the other thing I was thinking is that he doesn't really focus on the outcome. He's really focused on how can I be sincere and how can I follow the disciplines of Lord Swaminarayan. Even the quality that Kakaji told him to live in Nirpeksh Bhav, even that to an extreme is to have for himself, to have an expectation કે મારે નિરપેક્ષ ભાવ રાખવો છે અને મારે મારી પાસેથી બી એવું એક્સપેક્ટેશન નથી રાખવું કે મારે નિરપેક્ષ રહેવું છે. Unbelievable, to even have that, to not have expectation from his own self. And lastly, I want to say that these qualities that are plain sight is for us and for us to experience. The tattva that's there, that is there, but we can learn from what he lives in his day-to-day life. And I personally don't really want to ask for anything, because I think what he will give will be better than what I ask for. So I just want to say that I really aspire to have that discipline that he has kept in his life. Sajan Swami Maharaj.